Mugabe says his detractors are working with white South Africans to oust his government. He told thousands of party supporters to be wary of the enemy. President Mugabe was speaking to thousands of party supporters the first time he has done so following a series of strikes and unrest over the worsening economy.
The rally was to be President Mugabe's first public address following a week of unrest, a government strike over late wages and a national stay-away to protest his party's policies. Thousands of people waited all day for the party leader to address them, dancing to keep themselves entertained. The scenes here sharply contrasting the demonstrations that played out days earlier. There, some protesters called on President Mugabe to step down over the deteriorating economy. The party's commissar said the rally would show that Zimbabweans are still behind the long-time leader. He arrived in the evening, calling on party supporters to remain faithful despite the tough economic times. President Mugabe accused the opposition parties, including his former Vice President Joyce Mujuru, of working with white foreigners to end his 36-year rule.
South Africa.
They are holding meetings in South Africa with the whites there and are being advised not by the ANC but by South African whites on how to beat us at elections. We will expose them soon.
In the last week, civil servants went on a 3-day strike over delays in receiving their June wages. President Mugabe has asked government workers to understand the challenges facing the economy and tells them it doesn't mean that the government is broke and that the delays are temporary.
You will be paid eventually. There is no reason for strikes. It's just that some don't appreciate that they have a government that has given them land, jobs and well-being. They don't want to understand that we too, while fighting for our independence, worked for little monetary reward.
He did not directly refer to the wildcat protests that saw taxi drivers barricade roads with burning tires and stones, or Wednesday's national shutdown, the largest in many years. But he disagrees that the country's problems are as a result of government policies.
This crisis in our economy is as a result of the economic sanctions by the US and the UK. It is also because businesses are refusing to put their money in the banks. We don't print the US dollar, but we are introducing bond notes to bust the sanctions. Don't be misled. Bond notes are real money.
It was an uncharacteristically short speech, punctuated by calls from supporters that they are still behind him. President Mugabe is expected to hold several more rallies around the country. Other Zimbabweans remain unconvinced and say they will continue to call for national strikes until the government reverses some of its decision, including that to introduce bond notes and fires corrupt ministers. These corrupt ministers are who they believe are really responsible for the crisis that the country finds itself in. Shingai Nyoka, SABC News, Harare, Zimbabwe.